Hi guys, I am Ayan Acharya. I am joined by my colleague Dhruva, Prasad and Lalith, and we are here to preview Sunday's encounter between India and Pakistan at the T20 World Cup. Now there's forecast of heavy showers on Sunday in Melbourne, but we are keeping our fingers crossed. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Gentlemen, let's begin by talking about the form of both the teams. India, of course, goes into this World Cup on the back of two home T20I series wins against Australia and South Africa. Pakistan, they reached the finals of the Asia Cup where they came a cropper against Sri Lanka, but they made up for it by winning the tri-series in New Zealand, which involved, of course, the host and Bangladesh. So yeah, on form, both teams would be quite buoyant going into Sunday's contest. So let's talk about the crux of the face-off between the two teams, the matchups. Dhruva, we'll start with you. What's the one face-off that you are looking forward to and why?
I mean, the most evident matchup would be Shaheen Afridi making his return and his matchup with India's top order. I mean, we all know what he did the last time the two teams faced each other in the T20 World Cup last year. Shaheen Afridi got both Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul in the power play. And again, that matchup will be crucial this time around. Rohit Sharma has had a problem with left arm pace. He has been dismissed 19 times in 63 innings to left arm pace. KL Rahul has been dismissed 5 times in 32 innings but has a strike rate of only about 117 against left arm pace. And again, at number 3, Kohli has been dismissed 12 times in 53 innings. So clearly that matchup could be decisive considering how important the top 3 are to India's batting order.
Absolutely, and let's not forget the conditions are also going to be overcast, so the ball is expected to swing. And as Dhruva correctly pointed out, Rohit Sharma has been out the most number of times in T20s as far as India is concerned to left arm pace. So obviously how he fares against Shaheen could go a long way in setting up the tone in the first
and
6
also,
overs.
let's not forget that Shaheen Afridi coming back from an injury gave a glimpse of what he can, that he's back to in his rhythm with that Yorker that he bowled to Gurbaz in the warm-up match against Afghanistan.
That didn't go down too well for Gurbaz, but well, good news is that he has recovered. He did tweet that he will be available for Afghanistan's first game on Sunday. Moving on to you, Lalith, what's the one face-off you're looking forward to?
So one thing that would decide this contest would be how the Pakistan openers fare against the Indian bowlers. I mean, it's quite weird to think that Pakistan has only played 4 T20Is so far in Australia, and even Babar and Rizwan have only played 3 matches there, and that was before the pandemic in 2019 when Babar he struck 250s. 250s in Sydney and Canberra, and was out for 6 in Perth. And the interesting fact is that since 2020, after that, in the next 56 innings he has played, he's almost aggregated 56% of his career runs after that. So certainly he's coming back to Australia having leveled up in his game. And similarly with Rizwan, when he played in 2019, he used to play a different role in the middle order and could only score about 20 runs in 3 innings. And only had about 180 runs at a strike rate below 100 in his career up till then. And when we look for his progression from 2020, like he scored over 2,200 runs in 57 innings, but the strike rate remains a problem for both of them. It's about 130, and that has been a constant over the years they played T20 cricket. So clearly, I mean, MCG, as we know, has large square boundaries in effect. So whoever the Indian new ball pairs would be Bhuvneshwar or Shami, they'll try to go short from the first over, and we've also seen that in the first match, group stage match in Asia Cup as well, where Bhuvneshwar got Babar to a short ball. So that'll be one interesting matchup.
True. I'd like to go to Dhruva on this point. Dhruva, Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan are very crucial to Pakistan's fortunes. There's been a lot of talk about how the base that they set goes a long way in how Pakistan builds its score. I mean, clearly getting them would be a big boost for Team India early in the pathway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the numbers are staggering. The 2 of them alone have scored almost 48% of all T20I runs scored by Pakistan in 2022. So that just shows the kind of impact they have on the team. And it's also another reason why the middle order has largely been not tested so much.
True.
It's like some of them came good in the try series of late, but they have largely been untested.
Right. And well, that brings us to the next point. What should India's plan really be? Right. Pakistan, traditionally speaking, in T20 is a team that tends to focus on a steady start in the first 10 overs without losing too many wickets before taking off in the second half. So, what do you guys reckon India's plan could be? Do you, if you are Rohit Sharma, do you try and go for those early wickets, kill the game in the power play, or do you back yourself to counterpunch in the second half? Given that your death bowling, in absence of Jasprit Bumrah, is comparatively more susceptible when you talk about, when you compare it to your power play bowling. What do you reckon, Lalith?
Well, yeah, ideally you want early wickets in the power play. India's, I mean, over the 2022 season, India's got a lot of wickets up front, mainly through Bhuvneshwar, but he's been going through a lean patch. And obviously, Bumrah is always your strike bowler, and he's not there. So it will be, I mean, we'll have to see how India plans out their attack. Like if it's Shami, I mean, you will have that strength to attack up front, but otherwise you'll have to see how whether it's a defensive mindset that India will approach. So and not to forget that, I mean, Pakistan's middle order batting is in a bit of a muddle.
Correct.
I mean, it's not like they cannot boast of the same strength of Australia in terms of their floaters. They do have like post their number 3. It will be a like they send in batters. You've also seen Shadab at 4.
Right.
So I mean, depends on.
Depends on the makeup of the fast bowling as well. Dhruva, you agree with him?
Yeah, I think it's all about playing to your strengths. I mean, Mohammad Shami, we have seen he's best utilized in the power play.
Correct.
He took 3 wickets in the last over in the warm-up match, but he tends to be expensive in the death overs. So you would ideally want him to. You would want to maximize Shami in the power play. He again has the most number of wickets in the power play in IPL 2022. We saw that. Arshdeep Singh also is great in the power play. We saw in the South Africa series.
Right.
He's also, I mean, he's a death over specialist.
He is. In fact, he was picked as a death over specialist, but during the South Africa series, we saw Rohit using him as a power play specialist as well.
And also with Bhuvi struggling in the death, now it's best that you utilize him in the power play.
True.
As much as you
and well, the one matchup that I'm looking forward to, of course, let's not forget the Pakistan spinners and how they go against India's middle order, especially guys like Suryakumar Yadav and Virat Kohli, who are exceptional players of spin. Now, Pakistan mainly operate with 2 guys, Shadab Khan, leg spinner, and Mohammad Nawaz, left arm spinner. Now, let's not forget that with the sole exception of Akshar Patel, who we assume would start because he's a left-hander, India is a very right-hand heavy batting lineup, which means Shadab and Mohammad Nawaz will be best suited to go after the Indian Indian batters. Beg your pardon. Spin the ball away from them. Conventionally, that's the wisdom. So I've got some numbers in front of me here. Sharad Khan's record against left-handers and right-handers since 2018 versus right-handers, his economy rate is 7. He averages around 20. Against left-handers, the economy rate 7.13. The average is 32. Mohammad Nawaz, of course, against right-handers, he's really good. He's going at less than 7. His average is 21. Against left-handers, as expected, the economy rate shoots up to close to 9, and the average is 42. So yeah, I mean, Nawaz and Shadab will be Pakistan's spin, the potent spin attack that they could unleash on India. And they also have a third spinner in Iftikhar Ahmed, the off-spinning all-rounder, who's really a matchup specialist who comes into play if the opposition has a lot of left-handers. So say Pakistan, when they face South Africa, we might see Iftikhar Ahmed being used a lot more than he would against India. So that's one matchup that I'm really looking forward to, how India negotiate that attack. And well, guys, since we are on the subject of spin here, who do you see making the cut for Sunday? Will it be Ravichandran Ashwin with his off spin or Yuzvendra Chahal with his leg spin?
I think since Akshar Patel is probably a show starter, considering he's a left-hander and he comes in at number 7, I guess with him Ravichandran Ashwin might get a look in, because again Pakistan could potentially field 4 left-handers, and you could have a favorable matchup for Ashwin.
Yeah.
And again, Chahal has not played regularly of late.
Yeah.
So Ashwin might just make the cut.
Right. So I mean, was it a tough call for Dhruva because both spinners in contention are playing for Rajasthan Royals, so he really has to pick one of the two. Let's talk about the man who's a big fan of Mumbai Indians, Lalith. Who do you see making the cut?
I mean, firstly, MCG is somewhere a ground where spinners, I mean, scoring against spin is difficult, more difficult than against pace.
Yeah.
Like the run rate against spin at MCG is 6.79, whereas against pace it's 7.53.
Okay.
So I think, I mean, both teams, one decisive factor will be the way they bat against the spinners. So, and we know how potent Ashwin is as a defensive bowler. And like looking into the stats this year, in the middle overs, Pakistan's strike rate against spin has plummeted to about 7.8. While India struck at over 9.08 in the same phase. And it was this other way around last year, and India was striking at around 7.7 and Pakistan had it about 8. So yeah, so clearly India has the highest batting strike rate against spin this year as well.
Yeah.
So, and while Pakistan has struggled with a mid 7.5, so clearly, I mean, it depends. Obviously, if you have Akshar in the attack, and I mean, Ashwin has that matchup in favor of him.
Correct.
And obviously, he can, you know, I mean, switch between being a defensive bowler and an attacking option.
Correct.
So clearly, it would be Ashwin.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, Ashwin's not someone who's, I mean, you know, reducing him to just matchups would be too crude, because he is a you know, proven performer who can spin the ball both ways. Dhruva would agree. We've seen him do that well. And one more thing that goes in his favor is, let's not forget, Rajasthan Royals used him up the order as well.
Yeah.
Well, I doubt Rohit Sharma will do that, but you know, Dhruva might disagree with me here. But you know, yes, even I feel that Ashwin could make the cut. Chahal equally good, but perhaps, you know, he would be, you know, called on, because leg spinners do have a better record than off spinners in Australia. Finger spinners, historically, if you look up the stats, they're not that effective. But of course, I mean, you can't always reduce everything to stats here. You have to go by form, experience, and Ashwin has, well, both going for him at the moment. Well, you raised a very significant point about how Pakistan's batting struggled in the middle overs against spin, which is curious, isn't it? I mean, these are guys, both sides of the camp, who are bred on like a healthy diet of spin. The wickets, you know, help you better your game against spin. And if that's the case, if that's the struggle, that could also feature in the mind of the Indian players when they strategize for the you know, the Pakistan batters, who, as we've seen in the Asia Cup as well, have a very strong, reliable top order of two players, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam, but the middle order was shaky. So if India can take early wickets in the power play, if they can get past that Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan duo early, well, the game could be wide open. Right, so some closing thoughts. Dhruva, who do you see calling the early shots on Sunday? Rain willing, of course.
Yeah, I think India should have the upper hand, considering again great form. The batters have stepped up, especially in the power play, and yeah, Dhruva and Shami should come good in the power play, I think.
Yeah, and Lalith, you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one match over the last decade where it's pretty close between the two sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a clear favorite at this moment. Like, if India is batting first, certainly have a Shaheen challenge to face, and I think Pakistan has struggled while batting first. So pretty even at the moment for me.
Right. So there you have it. One clear winner, one diplomatic answer. I'm going to reserve my answer till Sunday, because I think the rain could play a big role. We might even have a curtailed game, and who knows, all the statistics that we discuss or the strategies that we discuss might just go out of the window, and we might just have a 5-over-a-side game. So yeah, that would be all from our side, guys. We'll be keeping a close watch on Sunday's match. There will be a live blog, live updates. We have our correspondent Ayan Acharya well, unfortunately he won't be in Melbourne covering the game. The Hindu sports editor KC Vijay Kumar will be there. He'll be giving us live updates too. So if you want to stay abreast with all the action, all the inputs and insights from that marquee clash. Do follow us on all social media websites, and that will be all. This is Ayan Acharya signing off with Lalith, Kalidas and Dhruva Prasad. Thank you so much.